What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 11 of Football Talk. That's right, I'm coming at you on November 9th of 2013. So I hope everybody's weekend is going to be good, as I know mine will. And we're dealing with some good football this weekend. One of the first in a while, actually, because next weekend's going to suck. And I'll go ahead and give a shout out to Kyle for going 0-8 and having 8 kill death, whatever. Actually, no, he had an 8 death streak yesterday on Call of Duty. So shout out to Kyle. I gotta train him to be a camper and be good. So we'll bring him in later to go ahead and give us some predictions for the NFL and NCAA today, and we will kind of break down some NCAA basketballs that started last night around the league. So take out my good old retainers. For some reason, I did not take it out before. But we'll go ahead and jump in right into the scores from the NFL last weekend. The Falcons and Panthers played in Carolina. Panthers took down the Falcons 34-10, and it was pretty much not even a close game. Basically from the beginning, it wasn't very close. I mean, maybe halftime, but Panthers had the game under control no matter what. Kansas City headed into Ralph Wilson Stadium to take on the Buffalo Bills, and they came away with a win 23-13, as it was actually really good, but their defense stepped up and did miracle things. Minnesota headed into Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Dallas walked away with the victory 27-23. Extremely lucky to walk away with that win, as the Minnesota took it to them and Dallas could not tackle to save their life. Tennessee headed into St. Louis to take on the Rams. Tennessee won 28-21, and there was no doubt that they were going to win that game. Anyways, in my opinion, that's just what I think about. Probably one of the most shocking things, and I called this right here. I think Kyle did too. New Orleans headed into MetLife to take on the Jets, and the Jets walked away with a win, 26-20 over the Saints of New Orleans. It was a great game on both sides, and I was so happy the Jets won. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hold on. Sorry, my dog decided to lick himself for like 30 seconds, so I was making sure. But heading over to another game, in overtime, San Diego and Washington. In overtime, Washington walked away with the victory, 30-24. Great game, great comeback, and it was a very close game. It was actually one of the most enjoyable games of the weekend. Nick Foles went off in the Philadelphia and Oakland game, scoring 7 touchdowns by himself, throwing 7 touchdowns, actually, mind you. And Philadelphia walked away with the victory, 49-20 over the Raiders. In another overtime game, Tampa Bay headed into CenturyLink Field to take on Seattle, as Seattle won in overtime, 27-24. Tampa Bay almost upset the Seahawks, and Tampa Bay fell to 0-8. Baltimore headed into Cleveland and walked away with a loss to the Browns. Browns won 24-18. And cool little fact for you guys, the Browns and the Bengals are on top of the AFC North, I think for the first time in a long time. One of the later games of the afternoon, New England played Pittsburgh in Foxborough. New England walked away with the victory 55-31 over the Steelers. Blowout victory. Brady got back to his usual form, throwing 4 touchdowns, and it was a great game. On Sunday Night Football, Houston hosted the Colts. Houston walked away with a loss as Gary Kubiak went down at halftime, and Colts came back from a 24-6 deficit, and won 27-24 over the Texans. And then on Monday Night Football, this pains me to say this, the Bears beat the Packers in Lambeau Field 27-20 as Aaron Rodgers went down with a broken collarbone and will be out 4 to 6 weeks. So that's what I had to say about that. That's really sad, and really sad to say the least. And kind of looking at moving into kind of the NCAA scores from Thursday night. Baylor took down number 10 Oklahoma 41-12. The Baylor Bears are number 6. They stay undefeated. And Stanford beat number 3 team in the nation, Oregon Ducks, 26-20. They basically had the game in their hands. Oregon almost made a comeback after blocking a field goal, returning it for a touchdown, getting the onside kick, scoring another touchdown, and then they muffed the other onside kick. So Stanford wins on a kneel down, 26-20. Big upset. So Oregon's national championship hopes are probably gone. Stanford's still in it though, so that's something cool to think about. As we're gonna go ahead and get Kyle in here. Yeah, so Stanford took them down, and it was really a great atmosphere, and it was a good game. It was definitely a very good game. I'm sorry, I'm switching my stuff around. Baylor's game was also very good. Good weekend so far in college football. One of the better weekends in the past couple weeks, to me, at least. I think it was last weekend. There was a bunch of snooze fests. 2 weekends ago, there was a bunch of snooze fests. This is like one weekend where everybody scored 70 points against their no-name teams that they were facing, which got kind of annoying to me after a while. This is because I enjoy good football, and I cannot stand it whenever stuff like that happens. So we'll move on to our NFL predictions. I bring in Kyle for the picks. What's going on, Kyle? You're on Football Talk.
All right. Hello. How's it
Going
going?
good. So about to head into the NFL predictions, or would you rather do NCAA predictions first?
Let's start with the NFL and then go down.
Okay, cool. All right, so first matchup that I have listed, Seahawks head into Atlanta to take on the Falcons. I have the Seahawks taking down the Falcons, obviously.
And here's the key to this game. Seattle, the past couple weeks, has been that team that's playing down to their competition a little bit. And I think the Falcons will be pesky on the road. East Coast game. You're going to travel all the way up to the East Coast. That's playing tough home games to the Seahawks. But the Falcons' defense is as pitiful as any defense in the NFL right now. They can't stop anybody, especially Cam Newton. That offense last week, they couldn't get anything going. I think this is a pesky game for the Seahawks, but I think the Seahawks edge out a 3-point victory in Atlanta tomorrow.
Yeah, it should be a good game. Are you going to it?
Yes.
You are going to it? Nice. All right.
I'll take it firsthand, and I will get my report.
Yeah, you better send me a picture. Yeah, you better write up a report about it and turn it into me by Monday, or you're fired. So.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so Eagles head into Lambeau, take on the non-Aaron Rodgers Packers, but Clay Matthews is back, so that's always nice. I'm picking Seneca Wallace to lead an upset victory over the Eagles because they're looking to run some read option with him and Eddie Lacy. Now I'm excited to see that because I love Seneca Wallace. So.
And the key to this game is, can Seneca Wallace make plays that he couldn't make last Monday against a tough defense, against an average, if not below average defense in the Eagles? So the Eagles, Nick Foles, incredible performance last week. But let me just remind you, that's 1 week, and we've seen what Nick Foles is week in and week out. 1 week he looks great. 1 week he throws incompletion. He can't seem to get it. And that's the Eagles offense for you. He's the right guy, and I think they'll draft that guy next year. But I think the return of Clay Matthews is big in this game because he's going to pump up that defense to make big plays against the high-powered Eagles offense. But they'll shut him down. And I take Seneca Wallace and Jordan Nelson to have a big game, along with Eddie Lacy having over 100 yards rushing and a touchdown to lead an upset victory in Lambeau.
Yeah, plus you have to take into the fact that the Eagles were playing the Raiders, and their secondary is not the best. I mean, they have Charles Woodson, but he's still playing safety. He's not on his actual. He's not a natural thing. So they were playing the Raiders, and they were in that zone. I don't see them doing it in Lambeau. If they do, I'll be very upset, but I don't think they will at all, and I don't want them to.
I just don't think that defense. The defense for the Eagles may be the worst in the league. That defense is in the NFC East alone, or more of the worst in the league.
Yeah. All right, Kyle. So now with this next game, you cannot let the Cowboys game dictate how you pick this game. Okay. All right. Lions head into Soldier Field to take on the Bears. Who you got in this one?
And I think the return of Jay Cutler is going to be massive for the team. I think he's able to make plays downfield with big deep threats like Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall, Martellus Bennett. In the running game, Forte can have a big game. Other side of the ball, Stafford's playing great, coming off the bye week where he beat the Cowboys. Good game, comeback win. Richie Bush has the ability to have big plays in this game. But I think the Chicago secondary is going to key down to containing Calvin Johnson for what they can. And I think Jay Cutler at home at Soldier Field returns triumphantly as the Bears take down the Lions.
I'm going to say the Lions will beat them. They're going to upset Chicago in Soldier Field. I'm going to say this. Nick Fairley or Ndamukong Suh's going to get in there and tear his groin again, and he won't be able to reproduce for the rest of his life because his scrotum's going to explode. So, so Lions will beat him because Jay Cutler sucks, and Luke is a lot better than he, or is it Josh? Josh is a lot better than he is. Luke is down in New Orleans, but Josh is a lot better of a quarterback than Jay Cutler, obviously, because he led the Bears to the NFC Championship game. So, Josh is a better quarterback than Jay Cutler. I would love to see him get the start, kind of like what happened with Kaepernick and Smith over Jay Cutler. Because McCown, I can actually respect McCown. I cannot respect an ignorant son of a gun like good old Jay Cutler, who's a complete idiot and looks like he's completely stoned off his ass every single Sunday. So I'm going Lions to upset the Chicago Bears, and they left a very distasteful taste in my mouth after doing that nasty hit on Rodgers and breaking his collarbone. It was such a dirty hit. I'm not even going to say that. So it was an okay hit. There's nothing bad about it. That's my little spiel about that. Moving on. How about that? Why don't we move on? Yeah. Jacksonville heads into Tennessee to take on the Titans. I don't mean to laugh, but it's kind of funny.
No, it's laughable. Don't worry about it. It's laughable.
The Titans will win a close game, in my opinion, by 3 points.
And here's where I'm going to go with this game. I think the Jaguars have started to play a little bit better, but losing Justin Blackman because he relapsed and getting back into, he violated his substance abuse policy and he's suspended indefinitely. I would suspend him for the rest of the season. And Maurice Jones-Drew, you're going to see a little bit of the Maurice Jones-Drew goals in this game. He's going to be able to make some plays on that Tennessee defense. So Tennessee is a dark horse right now. Jake Walker had that team playing good football, had a tough game last week and won it against the Rams. Chris Johnson finally he's just like, I'm back. Chris Johnson's got confidence. The receivers have confidence. The defense has confidence. And I think that leads to another win to get them above 500 and deep into that playoff hunt this week.
Yeah. I would like to see the Titans get back to the playoffs, but I think that there's some other teams in the AFC, like the Jets, the Bills. Of course, the Chiefs will be a wild card spot. So or Broncos. I'm thinking the Chiefs will probably take care of the Broncos, and the Broncos will have to go in as a wild card. This is how I feel at this moment. But Titans need to win, and it will be a good game. I think it will be a lot better of a game than people will think. I think I get that game on Sunday, so I'll have to go check. Tomorrow actually. The Rams and Colts. The Rams head into Lucas Oil to take on the Colts. So I'm picking the Colts to roll at home in a close game, nonetheless.
I think Wentz has played well for what it's worth at quarterback. He's finding good receivers. But Tiger Species improving when he's kind of hurt. And in Indianapolis, against a good Indianapolis team that had an incredible comeback win last week. I got to give them credit for that. It was an incredible comeback through adversity. And Indianapolis, they still have to prove to me that they're the caliber. They're going to have to go out and beat one of the contenders without Reggie Wayne before they convince me that they're a true Super Bowl contender without Reggie Wayne. But I still think they're the role this week and they get the Rams.
Yeah, you also picked the Texans last week, too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And T.Y. Hilton went off, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah. The Raiders head into MetLife, take on the Giants. The G-Men, as Swami would usually say, or Boomer, whatever you want to call him. He has like 8 names. The Raiders will play them close, but I think the Giants will win by 7 in the end. I know it pains you to hear me say that, but I think it will happen. I think the Giants have a little bit of an itch right now.
Giants are all right now. Coming off a bye week after 2 consecutive wins. They're playing better football. But here's the thing. They've had problems with mobile quarterbacks this season. And I think Jerome Pryor is going to cause some problems. Plus, I think the lack of a running game thereof for the Giants is going to make the Raiders key down on the passing game. And I think the Raiders go in after the bad taste in their mouth. They're getting stomped at home last week. I think they go make a statement at MetLife and take down the G-Men.
I'd be excited to see the Raiders win. I like their, you can never go wrong with the silver and black at all.
Just win, baby.
Yeah.
Just win, baby.
I think that, but I think the Giants, I think they will win. I don't know. It will be a good game. I think it's actually maybe one of the better games of the entire weekend. It's going to be a sleeper at this point. I think the next one I'm going to talk about will be a good game too. The Bills head into the Steel City, take on the Steelers, Pittsburgh. And Steelers, I'm going to say they're going to try to bounce back after a devastating loss to the Raiders the week before they had their bye week. And will win by 3 against the Bills. Now, I'm only saying this because they have to do that because Cleveland and Cincinnati are the top 2 teams in that division for the first time like in 30 years. I know it's just, I'm using some exaggeration there, but when was the last time the Browns and the Bengals were on the top of that division? I think the Steelers need it to stay intact, but I would not be surprised to see the Bills. Like whoever wins this game, I'll be happy because I like both teams. But I think the Steelers will win by 3, just because I think it will be a very good defensive game.
In the Steel City, it'll be a battle. EJ Manuel returning for the Bills is huge for them because Manuel was playing very, very exceptional football before he got hurt against Cleveland in Week 5. I think Buffalo has more weapons on their side of the ball that can get stuff done, but I do think Ben Roethlisberger will distribute it to guys like Emmanuel Sanders, Jericho Cotchery, and Antonio Brown. Le'Veon Bell has a big game as the Steelers take down the Bills in overtime.
Yeah, I could see it going to overtime too. I think it will be a good game. Definitely. Bengals head into M&T Bank Stadium to take on the Ravens. And picked the Ravens. I picked against the Ravens last time they were at home, and I was right about the Packers beating them. So I'm gonna pick the Bengals to beat the Ravens because I think the Bengals have it going right now. Even though they lost in overtime to Miami, but that wasn't Sun Life. I think the Bengals are actually a better road team than a lot of people are giving them credit for. And I could see the Bengals winning maybe by 4 points.
Here's what I'm going here. I think the loss of Geno Atkins for the season to the ACL injury is going to hurt the Bengals defense a lot. Now, they still have some great players on the defensive side of the ball, especially Pac-Man Jones, who's back in TNA. But I think the Ravens are 3-5, defending Super Bowl champions. I think this is going to make them play better. They need a big win. The Bengals are not playing so good, losing Geno Atkins. Now, Andy Dalton's been playing great, having 4 straight 300-yard games, playing great. But he's going up against decent defense. He's going up against a team that needs a win at home. I think the Ravens rise up and do that. I think Flacco has a very good game, but I think the defense steps up. And the key player to watch in this game is the running back. If Giovanni Bernard can get it going on the Ravens defense, Bengals can win. But if the Bengals contain Ray Rice and Bernard Pearson, the Bengals definitely have a chance to win, but I don't think they did that. I think Ray Rice finally breaks out. All you fantasy owners are like, please be right. So, but I think the Ravens.
Yeah, I was about to say the exact same thing about Giovanni Bernard. Eddie Lacy ran for 156 on him, and that's a big back, and they have a lot of trouble stopping the run. So I think the running game of the Bengals will be what happens this Sunday. I really want Andy Dalton to throw like 6 touchdowns so I can beat Jay, but I think it will come down to running backs on both sides. Yeah. I do agree with you on that. Panthers head out to the West Coast, take on the 49ers. And I'm going to go kind of bold here and say the 49ers will win by 1 point in a good game, 17-16. I don't think it will be that big of a game. Plus, I don't need the Panthers scoring a lot of points on that defense.
I think this game is probably one of the best of the weekend. If you look at a matchup wise, Carolina's won 4 in a row, 5-3. They're a game back of the Saints in that division. And Cam Newton, I don't know if you've been watching, but Cam has been playing off the charts.
He has been making some bad decisions, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna, but I think he's gonna get that. And this is bold. Listen to me when I tell you this is bold. Lights, camera, action, and there's a dash between the camera. Cam Newton goes into San Francisco, close to where he won the national championship with Auburn, close to Arizona, I guess. I don't know.
Not really. Not even close. It's like 400 miles or more. It's like 700 miles, 800 miles.
He goes about to the general vicinity and recreates the magic. Running game is going. I think this is a close game, but I think Carolina walks away with a huge 4-point win in San Francisco.
I'll be happy if Carolina wins, because I definitely like Carolina more than I like San Francisco. But I just want that defense to do good. I have to let that defense do good this week. So, yeah. That's what I could see. The reason why I'm saying Cam Newton's been careless, you can't throw 2 interceptions against a terrible defense in Atlanta and expect not to throw that kind of stuff against the 49ers defense. So that's why I'm kind of like, yeah, you got to be careful.
I think he knows he needs to play better, so he'll be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. The Texans head out to where Cam Newton actually won the title and not near it, like Kyle just said, to Glendale. Head out to Glendale at University of Phoenix Stadium. Take on the Cardinals. I think the Texans will play hard for Kubiak, but I think the Cardinals will win at home. I think that's too much of an atmosphere for the Texans to overcome.
Now, the Texans, it's sad because you and me both had them as a sleeper in the AFC, and we thought they were very well. We thought they were a good team. We thought Ed Reed would bring veteran leadership, and we were just wrong. I don't know what it is with this team. Maybe it's quarterback issues. Maybe it's just hurt. I mean, Larry and Foster not being 100% this entire year, and Andre Johnson not really. I mean, he finally broke out last week. Fantasy owners are like, we were waiting. But the defense hasn't been as good as I thought. J.J. Watt's doing all he can, but the rest of the defense isn't helping. The loss of coaching was huge. That's huge for the defense. And I just think the Cardinals have more upside right now. Carson Palmer's playing a little bit better. Larry Fitzgerald getting back to the Larry Fitzgerald old. And Andre Ellington. Whoa. I don't know about you guys, but that guy's got speed. Track speed.
He better.
Whew. He's good, and I think the Cardinals pick up another home victory and move 5-4 on Sunday.
Cardinals could be a sleeper out in the West, honestly. They could be a playoff team.
They can get there. They're playing well.
Broncos head into San Diego, which is a little bit closer to where Cam Newton played. It's actually not 800 miles away. It's only like 400 miles away. You're never going to live that down, man. That was like the worst thing. It's near. Yeah, it's very near. Northern California to southern Arizona. Okay. It's not. It's across 2 states. It's across 2 states, Kyle. Come on now. But this is a little bit closer, San Diego. Broncos head out there. I think Broncos will win. I can see the Chargers playing really well, but I can see Philip Rivers having a good game. I want the Broncos to lose, but I don't know if it will happen.
Here's the thing with me. Broncos have a massive showdown looming with the undefeated Chiefs next Sunday night on Sunday Night Football at home. I think they're going to get caught looking ahead a little bit the first half. I think they're going to be looking ahead. I think Philip Rivers is going to have a big game. He's going to jump out. And I think Ryan Matthews and Danny Woodhead out of the backfield and in the backfield running in. I mean, I think it's going to be key for them to run the ball. I think San Diego takes a 2-touchdown lead at the halftime, only for Peyton to lead up. Peyton come back again in San Diego, kind of like last year. Not as epic and not as more other coming points. But I think Peyton does the same thing as the Broncos come back in the second half, take down the Chargers by 3 late.
Yeah, it should be an interesting game to watch.
Yep.
Sunday Night Football, Cowboys and Saints. I hate both teams with like extremely bad, but Cowboys will win in overtime.
Ooh, that's a call. And I hate to do this, especially to my Cowboys, but this is a football talk first, folks.
Well, their defense sucks.
I am picking the Saints.
Oh my God.
And I hate to do that, but Drew Brees against Cowboys fan, but even I know that secondary, Christian Ponder can line it up. There's no telling what Drew Brees is going to do to it. Now, I do think my Cowboys will fight, and I think there's a very reasonable chance they may win this game if they play very well. The defense has to step up a little bit. Guys like Sean Lee still got to go make plays and got to tackle, wrap up and tackle. Des Bryant's got to play better. They got to look for Terrence Williams and Jason Wentworth, and they got to implement the running game more. That's why the game was so close, because the running game is not implemented as much in Dallas as it should be with the Montgomery and Lance Dunbar and Joseph Randall.
Yeah,
but I just think the Saints defense is a lot better. But I think the key thing that may sway my pick and the knowledge. Bob Ryan was a defensive coordinator in Dallas last year, so they know all the schemes.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to swing my pick. I forget the Cowboys.
Oh, what'd you say?
Woo! I am picking the Cowboys.
You changed your pick, huh? Wow.
Rich, mid-pick.
Holy cow. What a cowboy. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I think Cowboys, the Cowboys will win. I don't know, I can't pick the Saints. It pains me to kick the Cowboys, but what the Saints did to Brett Favre, I still can't let go. Dirty plays. Screw you, New Orleans. You deserve to be at the bottom of a freak. I'm not even gonna say it. Never mind. That's very insulting. I won't say that. It's not the town of New Orleans. It's the Saints. It's the football team, not the town. People there are awesome. If there's anybody in New Orleans that listen to me, I love all you.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, woo, yeah. Maybe you guys' lights won't go out and possibly cost somebody a championship. What a snooze fest on Monday Night Football. My God. Dolphins heading to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. And I'm going to pull up my big boy, I'm going to pull up my Pampers pull-up big boy pants, and I'm going to be pick Tampa Bay to pick up their first win at home. Whew. Man.
So does that mean I can pull up my big boy pants too?
No, your Pampers. They got to be your Pampers pull-ups. That's what I had to pull
All
up.
right, cool. All right, okay. Pampers pull-ups. Buccaneers will win. And here's what. Mike Glennon, they got a lot of confidence last week. Going up to Seattle, one of the best teams in the league, one of the most hostile environments, and going toe-to-toe with the best team, one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team. Micah James, second-year running back out of you, broke out. Huge game. That's huge if they can implement the running game. And then over to the other side in Miami. Okay. This is playing out like an episode of Days of Our Lives. Okay. Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin now. I blame Incognito because he seems like that guy. He seems like a trouble in the past. But Martin, 300-pound man that can't defend himself in the NFL, I don't know what to believe. Incognito is a sleazeball. But I just think the drama around that team is going to affect them going into Tampa Bay on Monday night, and I think Buccaneers get a huge Monday night win. And if Mike Glennon continues to play like this, folks, they may not be drafting a quarterback next year.
Of course not. He's a stud. I've been saying that all along. God. Oh, and did Michael James was he enjoying booze and women on that boat at Miami?
Who?
You're running back out of the U. Was he enjoying alcohol and women on that boat by that personal trainer guy?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, let's not go into that, Kyle. I don't really want to get into that because, we all know. We all know what happened. Yeah. So, we're done with NFL. Moving on to the NCAA football at this point. Predictions. So, first game, Virginia Tech and heads into Miami. Or no, Miami goes into Virginia Tech.
They go to Miami.
Okay, we'll go into Miami. I'm going to say Miami will bounce back against a good defense and win.
I think Miami, I think the thing that's going to be huge in this game is Delonzo Johnson is huge.
Turnovers, too.
I do think Dallas Crawford can make up for most of it. I think Dallas Crawford is an exceptional back. And guys like Alvin Hearns and Stacey Coley of receiving are really stepping up to the Canes. Plus guys like in the linebacking core. The linebacking core has been exceptional in Miami this season, and I'm happy. Guys like Raymond Bush in the secondary. And the way Virginia Tech's going right now, Virginia Tech come off 2 consecutive losses to Boston College and Duke, respectively, so they're not entirely on a roll. So I'm going with the Canes. And that will be huge for the Canes going forward, trying to win that division.
Yeah, definitely. Florida State heads into Wake Forest, take on the Demon Deacons. Who do you got in this one, Kyle?
Upset special. Not today. I'd like to take this. I do think Wake Forest, new kickoff, not used to what Florida State's playing in this season. They're used to playing in prime time or 3:30, early kickoff, having to go on the road. Upset alert a little bit. But the thing that I think that is swaying me to FSU, the loss of Michael Campanero, one of the best receivers in the country for Wake Forest, to a broken collarbone for 4 to 6 weeks. That's huge. It's one of the main priorities in the weapons. I don't think they're going to be able to overcome that. I think they're going to be pesky with Florida State early, but Florida State just overpowers them, wins big by 17 in the second half.
That's almost exactly what I said. I said Wake will pitch an upset early. They'll pitch an upset early with FSU winning late in the game. I think I could see that, but I think it will be a fourth quarter where Florida State finally hits their groove and they score 24 plus and just bury them. I can see it turning into one of those games. I could also see it turn into where Wake Forest kicks a field goal and beats them. That's just how dangerous Wake Forest can be. Even though they turn the ball over a lot, they fumble a lot. So they have to not – if they fumble more than 5 times, then they're done. If they fumble less than 3, then they win. That's what I'm going to say. Vanderbilt heads into the swamp to take on the Gators. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, Florida showed signs that they can play good at points if they're healthy. Tyler Murphy showed that he's a very good quarterback. Played his best game of the season in a loss last week against Georgia and Jacksonville. Running back core starting to get going a little bit. And this is the perfect game for them to get going. But Vanderbilt knows they need this game. Vanderbilt's sitting at 4-4, 4 games remaining, and they got to win 2 out of 4 to get bowl eligible. And they know they want. This is the first time in school history they go to a bowl game 3 straight years, so they know they want that. I don't know if it's either going to be Robin Yet or Carter Samuel. I think this is a shootout. But I think a late Florida turnover dooms the Gators as the Doors get their first win in Florida in quite some time.
Yeah, Vanderbilt beating the Gators in the swamp as well. I just think that there's a lot of stuff to be said. You know, they were playing Georgia's defense last week, so there's really nothing to really compare about because that defense is so crappy anyways.
Yeah.
So I think Vanderbilt's defense is better, obviously, because they beat Georgia. But I mean, there was some stuff. I mean, people were out. Georgia fans would be like, whoa, our team's broken. We don't have anybody on offense. That's when if you persevere, man up, get your balls in the right line and do it right. But they didn't do it against Vanderbilt. So I'm picking Vanderbilt to beat Florida again. So Vanderbilt will beat Florida. That's what I'm going to say. Moving on to Auburn, Tennessee. How about that, huh? Auburn goes into absolutely hostile environment.
100,000 people screaming Rocky Top.
Yep. In Tennessee. And I'm pulling the upset right here.
Ooh.
Volunteers shocked the Tigers in overtime, much like how they should have shocked the Georgia Bulldogs in overtime, but this time they do it and they get it done. Auburn falls to Tennessee in overtime by a touchdown.
Now, this is good. I know I'm a big Kentucky fan. I'm not supposed to be crediting Tennessee, but Butch Jones, I got to give him credit. He's one of the guys that he is probably going to be the guy to bring Tennessee back to national prominence. I mean, nearly taking down Georgia and then taking down South Carolina, who is looking as good as anybody right now. Now, the loss of Justin Worley is huge, but can Dobbs make enough plays running and throwing the ball? Just a reminder, I saw Josh Dobbs play a year ago at this time. He was playing high school football for Alpharetta, so...
Yeah.
And now he's starting for Tennessee. But I think Tennessee, the thing on the defensive side, it's susceptible to the run, and Auburn's one of the best running teams in the SEC, and that's why I got to stray away from the upset a little bit. I know Tennessee's got some playmakers and go up against the ball. They got some defensive guys that can really make plays. I just think Auburn playing better right now on a roll, looking to get. They can be 10-1 going into the Iron Bowl, which would be awesome. I just think Auburn goes in and gets a very needed victory today.
Yeah, strong statement. And him coming out of Alpharetta, you have to understand, folks. In Georgia, there's like 12 teams that are perennial championship people. You got Alpharetta, Buford, oh my goodness, Lathiter, Norcross, Grayson, Valdosta, yeah, you got 6. There's 6. You know, you got these teams that just produce really good people all the time. Yeah, but Norcross is the defending champions, and we'll see what they're gonna do this year. But Winning his football program in in the country is gonna be coming up there and probably killing them here pretty soon. So, but I know that Valdosta State will be making the playoffs. But yeah. So moving on. God. BYU heads into Wisconsin to take on the Badgers, and the Badgers won't be ranked after this game as BYU beats them.
That's a good pick. I think Wisconsin. Kirk Herbstreit said it best. They're going to finish 10-2. I don't care what anybody says. I may be wrong, but I think I agree with Kirk. They're going to finish 10-2, and they're a bad call away from being 11-1 and in BCS contention, one-loss team. And I think that's crap. I think it's not fair to them. I think guys, they're pumped up. They want to finish 10-2. They want to try and get an at-large berth. I think they do just that. They beat a very good BYU team in overtime.
Overtime, yeah. It'll be good. It's gonna be a running game. Both defenses have trouble stopping the run. Yep, and both teams run the ball very well. So it may actually be one of the best games of the weekend, honestly, to me. Arizona and UCLA play. I'm going to pick Arizona to shock the Bruins with their running game.
Sorry for the famous lesson. I think Janine Carey, late night game on ESPN, UCLA, coming off 2 losses, they struggle on the road. And I do think Arizona will play inspired football, but I think Brett Hundley and them pick just enough plays to lose. Arizona takes down UCLA as well.
There you go, baby. That was a nice pick. We both agreed.
They make just enough plays to lose.
Yep. Georgia Southern heads in. Actually, no, they're hosting Western Carolina. Oh my God. If Georgia Southern loses again, I'm pretty sure my sister will have a heart attack. So Eagles win. Boom. Triple option.
Carolina's offense is good, but I think Southern rises up, takes the challenge, takes a W.
Yeah. You got a 3-16 coming in, so they should be able to win. Of course, they faced a 1-6 Appalachian State and got beat by like 31 points. So
yeah, hopefully I can do that today, though.
Yeah, Houston UCF, some of the best school college football to watch right now, playing each other this weekend, undefeated in their respective conference, big AAC matchup, probably bigger than any Louisville game has been this season, other than the UCF game.
I love that shot at Louisville. I love that.
So, Houston, I think they go into UCF, but the Knights will win and continue to keep their ranking. It's gonna be a shootout no matter what. Defenses will be good.
People forget the winner of that conference gets an automatic bid to the BCS.
Yep.
And they basically, in theory, have a 2-game lead over Louisville. They have to win over Louisville, and then they had to hit tiebreak, so it's basically a 2-game lead.
Yep.
I think Houston walks in there with a chip on their shoulder, gets big plays. I think it's a shootout back and forth, and finally in double overtime, as Houston goes for 2 to try and win the game early, they don't get it.
Yeah.
And I think CF, they shootout. I think it'll be an amazing game in Orlando at the Citrus Bowl.
Yay. The bowl that nobody ever plays at other than one team.
Wow.
Whoa. So now that moves on to the CBS, because there's nothing on ABC that they're covering. It's all on CBS because it's SEC. A matchup everybody's been looking for like the last 3 weeks because nobody's played anybody in the last 3 weeks. Feels like, dear God, college football has like taken kind of a downturn since October, like midway through October. LSU heads into Alabama to take on the Crimson Tide. Do you want me to go first, Kyle?
Yeah.
Tigers jump out to a 14-0 lead. Alabama wins by 7 in the end.
I think Alabama, this is really, people have been like, Alabama has all those SEC haters, I can hear y'all talk. Here's the thing. When you play in the SEC, every week is a tough game.
Yeah, except for whenever you're playing Appalachian State or Georgia State or
unless when you play really, unless you schedule really bad out of conference, Ohio State, but But I do think LSU swag going to come up with a little bit of swagger in the Tuscaloosa. I think they're going to try and punch them in the mouth. But Alabama's defense, they motivated football. They're going to try and contain them. And Alabama's offense gets the job done. Alabama by 13.
Good pick, good pick, good pick. I like that. I like that a lot. It'll be an interesting game. If LSU wins, it will be interesting to see what happens in the BCS standings. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do not want to see two undefeated BCS teams not play each other if Alabama loses. Like, Alabama needs to not be in the national title at that point. They don't, like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, that's happened quite a bit recently, or since the BCS has come around, it happens sometimes. And I just don't agree with that. So, but we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see. Moving on to the NCAA basketball season. So, Kyle and I are going to pick our Final Fours and kind of our matchups for next week's game between Kentucky, Michigan State, and Kansas and Duke, the top 4 teams in the country going at each other early on, surprisingly.
Champions Classic from the United Center in Chicago.
So, you go ahead, Kyle. You start us off with those 2 games and then pick your Final Four and your champion.
And starting with Tuesday, this is going off of last year's Champions Classic. It's been rotating, and this year, finally, we get some good matches. This is the earliest the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country will be playing ever in this season before. And Kentucky, I'm a diehard Kentucky basketball and football fan. If Kentucky football goes up against Missouri today, yikes. But I think Kentucky's youth is going to be a problem. Usually with youth and a lot of freshmen, it takes a little time for them to gel together. And Michigan State's a very veteran ball club, which will be tough on Kentucky. I think that's a close game, and that's one I really can't call, so I will not be making a selection. I think it's going to be a tough game. I don't know who will win, but it'll be tough. Moving on to the game after that. That game will be at 7:30 on ESPN. By the way, if you're interested, Monday, starting at midnight, 24 hours of basketball straight. They all have games all throughout the night. 7 a.m., 9 a.m. It's going to be weird, but it's cool, pretty cool concept. They've been running for about 3 or 4 years now. But game after that, 9 o'clock or 10. I think it's 10 o'clock. Kansas taking on Duke. Now Andrew Wiggins has come in with the legend of John Henry's hammer already, and everybody's like tank for Wiggins. They got some great players over there in Kansas, but they also have a lot of youth as opposed to Duke. Duke's got some veteran players, offensive side of the ball, and Jabari Parker, so that's going to be a very good game. I think Duke just has enough. I think Coach K gets the job done as they take down Kansas in an early season showdown. I think it was a very good game. And getting back to the Kentucky game, you got to look out for in that game. Adrian Payne on Michigan State, big time. And the other guy to look for on Kentucky is Julius Randle, stud. He could be a top 3 pick in the draft. Now moving on to my picks. National Player of the Year will be Jabari Parker out of Duke. I think it's a surprise. Everybody's like, well, we're going to be the best. Yeah, I don't think so. I think Jabari Parker is going to have enough better position for the points. I think National Coach of the Year. Dun, dun, dun.
Uh-oh.
Dun, dun. Tom Izzo from Michigan State. I think Michigan State really has a chance to get another national championship this year. And I think Tom Izzo will get it done. My Final Four. Here we go. I think the Kentucky Wildcats, because getting back to the youth may not too early, but just wait till March. We'll see. Good luck with that. I think Kentucky gets there. I think Duke gets there. I think Duke's got a very good team this year. I think Michigan State gets there. And listen to this, folks. The Wichita State Shockers will return to the Final Four this season.
There you go.
I think they're one of my sleepers. I think they can get back. And listen to this. To my 2 other sleepers that I think get there. Arizona, very good team, has one of the most athletic players in the country in Aaron Gordon. If you have not seen any of his dunks, please go look them up. There's a dunk back in high school, on a high school all-star game, where this big guy just starts jumping up, and he's like, oh! goes ballistic. It's awesome, but he's a great player. I look forward to seeing him play at Arizona this season. Second sleeper, though, is the Harvard Clemson. Tommy Amaker has built a winner, especially after upsetting New Mexico in the first round last year. Very good ball club, and they're getting just enough talent. They have the capability of not making a Sweet 16, but a Final Four run. Look out for Harvard.
There you go.
All right, your turn.
All right, Tuesday, Champions Classic. I think that whoever loses will make the finals in that game, those two games. Whoever is the ball club that loses will make the finals in the NCAA tournament, because they will be the teams that persevere the most and will want it more because they have that one loss. So I'm not really gonna pick either of them. I hope that Kentucky wins so that Michigan gets there. Michigan State gets there. But we'll see what happens. I'm happy that it's kind of back. I'm more like, I like watching college basketball. Usually at the beginning, and then I watch it definitely tournament time. Tournament time is one of the best times to watch any sport.
Yes, absolutely.
Final Four.
If you were in school on tournament time, that's like, oh, I'm sick. Oh, God.
Oh God, I'm sorry. Final Four, Coach of the Year, definitely Izzo. Player of the Year, I really don't know at this point. Final Four, I'm gonna say Michigan State, Wichita State,
Yeah.
the Dukies, and Kentucky.
Well, you gotta go with that for dandies, baby. You do me and the Dukies. And you wanna look at Jabari Parker and Coach Matt State, you gotta look at them straight in the face and say,
Took a Dookie in my pants. Yeah, so I think that's what's gonna happen. Now in the championship, I think that Wichita State beats Duke and Michigan State beats Kentucky to get their revenge, and Michigan State wins by a 3-pointer at the very end of the game to beat Wichita State in the finals.
I think the national championship game, I think we had the same Final Four.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we had the same Final Four, so that's good. I think it'll be Kentucky. We'll be taking on another Michigan State team. Now, I think Kentucky beats Michigan State, and I think Kentucky in the national championship game will be a lot of fun. But in the end, I think my Cats get title number 9 and raise another banner for him this season.
That'd be pretty cool. I'm not a Kentucky Wildcat fan at all, but I'm happy for you and your raging fan boner for Kentucky Wildcats. So, in SEC, anything.
But you can't forget about the
Oh my God.
I love Dickie. Dickie V is back, baby.
Yeah, no.
It's
I took a Dookie, my pants were so big I can't even believe it. Oh, it's unbelievable. God, I love Dickie V. Amazing man. So, yeah, so I guess Kyle will have to be coming up your way for some tournament time games, possibly.
Oh, heck yeah.
Making that 5.5 hour drive up there.
Oh, we're going to be sitting back and just watching them, eating.
Eating a lot of food.
Cupcakes. Sounds familiar, doesn't it, Ohio State?
Yeah, freaking Aaron Kraft and your rosy cheeks.
No, football and basketball. Oh, man.
I run onto the floor for my warm ups and I'm already out of breath and my cheeks. I look like I'm like tired as F.
And I remember they remember Wichita State pretty well, don't they?
They remember Temple too a lot too because they had to screw over Temple just to win. So does Louisville. Oh.
I mean, they screwed over Temple against Indiana and Louisville. 1 second, Temple.
It was a ball, yeah.
That's just but
Let's not get into that. We'll literally have ulcers and diarrhea for 3 months if we start talking about that. So.
Yeah, but Ohio State fans that are complaining now, if Florida State loses, you've got a shot at the national championship. But if y'all are complaining for being low in the BCS, let me point out a fact. Y'all haven't played an in-season top 15 team since 2009, and y'all haven't played a top 5 team since 2006 in that 1-2 matchup against Michigan. Now go out. Tyler said this before, and I'll say it now. Go out and schedule somebody unless you're just scared to play them, unless you're scared to play good opponents because you're afraid you're going to lose. Urban Meyer, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, or again, all BCS conferences need to schedule one tune-up game, and after that, 11 conference games. I don't care if you have to play a team twice. You do it. You solve this problem of crappy stuff, and yeah. So that's just how you do it. It's the same. Everybody schedules cupcakes. It's not just one or two conferences. Or if anything, make 4 super conferences. That gives you guys enough teams to play. Blah, 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 blah. Get it right, BCS. I'm tired of your crappy computer. Can't wait to unplug you after this season. Probably won't even happen. They'll probably keep you up because that's how fickle they are. It's all about money. That's all it's ever been about. So, boom. I'm done. Spiel. Football talk is about to be over because I literally have an ulcer and throw up all over the place. So.
Oh, man. Oh, man. All right. Well, it was good. Follow me at Kyle Lance 30. Follow him at IA_Marksman.
What self-plugs? My goodness.
We are shameless pluggers. I'm out. Later.
Later, Kyle. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Football Talk. That's right. We are closing it off at about 56 minutes, 51 minutes maybe. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for listening to Football Talk, episode 11. I am IA Marksman, and hope that everybody has a good day of football. Have a safe weekend, and as always, peace out.